Welcome to Speaking Cinema, series movie Jibber Jabber, a movie podcast coming to you live from Hollywood, California, where the superheroes walk among us. And for a couple of bucks, get a photo with them. If you're cool with taking a picture with a gun-carrying Batman and the sweatiest Black Widow that you've ever seen. Dude, that black vinyl outfit, not meant for the Hollywood sun.
And, you know, with that the sun reflecting off the Walk of Fame there, sweaty. You gotta think that out.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Listen to us Jibber Jabber every week on Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iTunes. During the day, I work in a bowling alley under my secret identity, Ricky Dozen. Little do people know, I'm your host, mythical supreme being known only as Mr. Jibber Jabber. With me today, as always, is my brooding arch nemesis playboy billionaire, Kevin, who just misses his parents.
I'm really sad. Where's the detonator? Where is it?
This week on the Jibber Jabber, two titans of the comic book world clash for the first time in cinema. 2016's Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, continuing our series of gibbering about current films. Starring Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Jesse Eisenberg, Amy Adams, Lawrence Fishburne, Diane Lane, Jeremy Irons, and Holly Hunter. Directed by Zack Snyder. Written by Chris Terino and David S. Goyer. And Ben Affleck got a pass, so they say.
They say allegedly.
Produced and distribution by DC Films and Warner Brothers. If you're not familiar, Batman fights Superman. What do you want?
That's basically it.
What do you want, huh? What do you want? This film is set as the kickoff for the DC comic books films Justice League team-up movie, which has been in the works for years.
Many
years and years.
Many directors, many actors, ground to dust.
Years and jeers. George Miller of Mad Max fame was originally set to make a Justice League movie until the writer's strike allegedly stalled and ultimately ended the production. Allegedly. Some would allegedly say poor decision making also led to it. Director Wolfgang Peterson of Das Boot fame was also working on a Batman v Superman movie in the mid-2000s before it shut down. Hollywood wants these two to duke it out. The development and the fact that it's actually coming out, evidence of that.
And plus, Wolfgang Peterson was like, you know, I want to do the Iliad, but I want to make it really gay. And so he made Troy.
Some would argue the Iliad was always gay.
It probably is. This is the Greek.
You gotta read it in its native ancient Greek writing, and then you kind of see the subtext.
They were well open in those days.
Once Marvel showed that a superhero team-up movie was licensed to print money, DC finally set the wheels in motion with their big Justice League blowout. Things kicked off in 2013's Man of Steel, also directed by Zack Snyder, and will continue to a two-part Justice League movie, also directed by Zack Snyder.
They're just giving him the keys to the kingdom.
That being said, this truth on the table here, allegedly, the Man of Steel movie had some allusions to other characters, but nothing. It's a reverse backdoor pilot, right? Like They're like, oh, that's the first movie in the series. Like, that was not your intention, motherfuckers. Come on. As of this recording, BVS Dawn of J playing in the theater near you. Go see it in IMAX if you want. Are we going to see it in IMAX? Possibly.
We could possibly see it.
Where's the closest IMAX theater?
I believe the Cinemark in Playa Vista has an IMAX.
Out. No. I'm not driving to fucking...
It's not that far from my house.
That's true. This is our first look at any major DC movie here on the Jibber Jabber. We've covered Marvel's output with Ant-Man and Deadpool. Kev, what do you think about Warner Brothers / DC Films and their movie plan?
Seems shaky. If I had to say two words. Seems shaky.
Christopher Nolan's Batman movies made boatloads of money, but they're not really part of their universe.
No.
And the Green Lantern movie tanked hard.
Very hard.
Put Ryan Reynolds' career into a coma, which has successfully awoken from now. But, shaky is your take.
It seems like they're doing a major overcorrection with the success that Marvel has had. Because, Marvel has had obviously amazing success.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people predicted it. And like anything that makes a lot of money, the industry shifts very quickly. But Marvel was planning this out and really thinking doing a lot of forward thinking. And everything I read about Warner Brothers, it just feels very reactionary.
Right.
It's like, well, we need to have our team up movie. It's like, but we only have a Superman movie to build up to it. We haven't had a Flash movie. We haven't had an Aquaman movie. We haven't had a Wonder Woman movie, although that's in the works. But like, Marvel did a good job getting us to know these characters while also telling interesting stories for each one and then throwing them all together. It's working in reverse. It's throwing them all together and then we're going to kind of get the movies.
Right.
So it seems odd.
They didn't have the balls to commit.
Yeah, I agree.
They Marvel, to their credit, was like, listen, this could get derailed at any minute, but we're going to make Iron Man, we're going to make Thor, we're going to make Cap, we're going to make blah, we're going to make and then we're going to throw them all together, and we're going to make the Avengers. And they did it. They fucking did it. And, that's a lot of luck, that's a lot of skill, there's a lot of, planning. But the DC Universe, it's like they had this terrible lead-in with Man of Steel, and exactly what you said, they're trying to reverse do it. And I don't get it in a lot of ways.
Batman vs. Superman is kind of a cool idea, but who's really clamoring for that? And who's really clamoring for Justice League?
Well, all the DC growing up, I was always a Marvel kid.
Me as well.
Yeah.
As much as I love Batman the animated series,
of course,
one of my favorites. Second shout out on this podcast.
It was always Batman was the number one, and then it was like the X-Men and Spider-Man and all of them.
There was like a good Iron Man animated series that I was all into, Spider-Man, X-Men. So yeah, definitely Marvel appeals more to just that pure comic book energy.
Right.
And I always hated Superman.
Yeah, me too. I never liked Superman.
To this day, I hate Superman.
But there is good stories in the DC universe, and I think the DC TV shows show that there are. You know what I mean? And I think
which all that shit happened without me even knowing. I'm like, wait a minute, there's like 15 DC superheroes.
We'll get to that in a second. We should remedy that, first of all. But I think that I like the idea of Batman vs. Superman. I remember I learned about that comic book when I was in high school, and I was very interested in that. And, like Frank Miller had them fight, and I thought that was cool. Like Superman, like this, like, the errant boy of the government of like Ronald Reagan, and Batman is like, standing up for justice. I think that the more logical progression, because, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the trailer, but Wonder Woman is in the movie as Wonder Woman, not teased or anything. And spoiler alert from the guy who was in a line behind me at the ice cream shop who claimed that he worked for a toy company. The Flash is going to be in the movie. And they've also rumored that Cyborg's in the movie, and it's confirmed that Aquaman is in the movie. So a lot of people in the movie...
They confirmed that Flash is... Ezra Miller is playing him? Or something like that? And then, Cyborg is now in talks here, so...
And who knows how it's all going to shake out, if there's going to be slight cameos from these people, or if there's going to be actually, like, scenes with them in it. But you would think that the logical progression would be Superman, if you had to do it this way, right? If you're faced with how they've started this, go Superman, and then Batman wants to fight Superman for what he represents. And then another movie after that where you introduce... the escalation, right, where you introduce all the other superheroes into it, right? Or they get their own movies, and then we eventually get to Justice League. Yeah. But it seems like Batman vs. Superman is kind of a Justice League 0.5. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. It's getting everybody together, but that's a lot of people to throw together in
that we don't know.
Story.
That we don't know.
Exactly. That we're seeing these people for the first time,
right?
And it's. How's it going to work? Well, we're going to find out. But this movie's got a 2.5 hour runtime. So that might not be enough room to throw in all these things they want to do.
And then they've already confirmed that the home release will be an R-rated cut. Do you have any thoughts on that? The internet is very negative on this.
I think the internet is reacting. They think it's a Deadpool reaction, where it's like,
which it probably is.
It might be a little bit, but I think it's going to be a different kind of R rating. And Zack Snyder talked about it. He's like, it's just a more. It doesn't mean we have like a ton of beheadings and blood or anything like that. He says it's just a more intense movie, and we had to. Now you get into the argument. Well, how do you gauge intensity on a PG-13 R-rated scale?
That sounds like bullshit to me.
It does sound like bullshit.
What makes it more intense?
It's like you throw in, if he punches him 10 times, that's PG-13, but if he punches him 11, that's R-rating.
No,
that's how they count penis thrusts for like an NC-17 rating.
Right. I think Alfred will just say, I don't fucking care, Bruce. and then that's why.
There you
You
go.
know, and then a couple extra.
Don't you want to hear Jeremy Irons deliver that line though?
Yeah, I do. But I think it's cursing. I don't believe. I think it's a gimmick.
Yeah, I think it's just something to whet people's appetites. But you're whetting people's appetites for something you don't even know if they like yet.
Do you think that the DC universe is always going to be second fiddle to the Marvel juggernaut?
Unless this is a colossal hit and is thought of to be on par with the Avengers or better, I think they will be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just don't see how their strategy is as ironclad as Marvel's was.
Well, I take exception to this question because I think they are third fiddle because I think they are after Fox.
Oh, boy.
I think it goes
Yeah.
Marvel,
Hey.
Fox, and then DC Universe. Because while Fox has struggled in the midpoint of their superhero X-Men franchise, I think they fell over, but they got back up and they're doing good again.
Successfully rebooted. I think Days of Future Past is one of the best superhero movies made.
Right.
I think that's fantastic.
And Apocalypse looks like it's going to be good, and Deadpool was good. So, you know, I think they're not even in second place. I think they're in third place.
Yeah.
And I think that, they're just...
I mean, they talk about, Man of Steel made like $300 million, but it made $130 million its opening weekend, so it petered out hard. And, and that thing probably cost like $200 million. So they're spending tons of money,
Right.
and just not getting the return.
Well,
people just don't really like these movies.
Yeah, who gives a shit about money? Because it's like, you could trick people into coming to a movie theater and they sell toys and there's Happy Meals and all this kind of shit, right? So there'll always be money-making things when it comes to superheroes because you can, they're only making $200 million off the fucking Legos alone, right? So it's about, is this a story worth telling and is the story worth watching?
And is the story going to be secondary in this movie?
Right.
Or is it all just going to focus on, okay, we got to get Batman and Superman fighting, and then we need Aquaman, and then we need Wonder Woman, and then we need all this shit.
Right.
So, are we going to get a full arc?
I don't know.
We're going to find out.
And I mean, going into the trailer, right? You watch the trailer for this movie. This might be the most negative movie that we're gonna...
We don't know yet, but I wanted to do it just because it is going to be a big movie and we should talk about it.
The thing is, based on the trailer, Batman's argument is the correct argument, right? He's like, this motherfucker comes from a different planet and he smashes up a whole city. Fuck this guy. And you're like, yeah, kinda. That's right. You know what I mean? Like,
Because it sure didn't feel that way at the end of Man of Steel, where he destroys the whole city and everything's hunky-dory.
and then we're making a joke. Hey, man, I grew up in Kansas. I'm American. Like people from Kansas. Which I feel like that also represents this thing as a California kid and you're a Washington person. It's like, if you're not from the middle of the country or the South, you're not really American. And to that, I'll say, fuck you.
Yep.
Go fuck yourself.
Go eat your fried Crisco and just go die somewhere.
Or let me have that fried Crisco. It's delicious. So here's my thing. Should Chris Nolan's Batman have been part of this series?
I'm totally fine with it being separate, personally.
See, I am not.
Go on.
Because it was the perfect setup, right? It's like you had this Batman series, right? Of Batman, and he fakes his death, and then spoilers for Batman, the Chris Nolan series. In the end, he passes it to Robin, right? Which is
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, in the end, discovers the Batcave, and then the platform rises, and it's all about rising up and all that kind of shit.
Literally, The Dark Knight Rises.
Right. So he'll rise up and take the mantle of Batman, and that's your new Batman, right? Now you can jump a bunch of years later and have Ben Affleck be what Joseph Gordon-Levitt grows up to be, or you could just have Joseph Gordon-Levitt star in these, and then Superman comes to Earth. But that was a perfect setup. It's a franchise we already love. Involve it. Why not? You don't need Nolan and fucking Christian Bale don't even have to ever come back. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's true. So, I do like in this one that Batman is like an old grizzled Batman that's kind of
I do like that idea.
coming out of retirement Batman. I think that is really what they need, because they tried to reboot Batman again. We know it's like rebooting Spider-Man again. It's like,
we know the fucking story.
We know the Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
Although I've heard rumors that this movie has the fucking parents dying scene. And it's like, we've seen that scene a million times.
Yeah, we saw it in the last one.
We did see it in the last one. We've seen like every Batman movie. We don't need it anymore.
It'll be a flashback and it'll be dumb.
Flashback.
What do you think the DC movies are too serious?
we just talked about Conan the Barbarian on one of our previous episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if it's serious.
Right.
Not everything needs to be jokey.
But I think you'll agree with me. It has to be smart.
It has to be smart. It can't be serious just for serious sake.
Right.
Because, they think Nolan's Batman movies work because they were gritty and dark. And that's not why they worked. They worked because it fit Batman's character to be grittier and dark, but it was grounded in a reality. So Batman was more of a militarized detective than a superhero, and they found ways to tell that story. And I remember when Green Lantern failed, they were like, "Oh, we'll just reboot it and it'll be gritty and dark." And it's like nobody wants a gritty Green Lantern.
I'm not against. Here's the thing. I agree. I get what you're saying. I'm not against a gritty universe for these superheroes to be in, but the thing is, so the universe is gritty and bad, right? And dilapidated, and basically if the whole world was Detroit, right?
Yeah.
And then the superheroes are the shining light in the darkness. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I will bring you hope. These men and women can bring hope to people who are hopeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I think what they don't have the intelligence to pull that off, though.
Yeah, it's Man of Steel, I think, just has basic plot logic fallacies that undercut any kind of serious thing they're trying to do.
And also this obsession with who your true father is. And listen, I grew up with no father, right? And I don't give a shit. It's not well, I'm always looking for my dad. It's nah, dude, it's not, it's who's my dad? Is it my adopted dad or my fucking hologram dad? It's what are we talking about?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Or is it my Kansas dad?
Yeah, it's it's
screenwriters must have a lot of dad issues.
I think they do.
They do.
Which is why I think I'll never succeed. Because it's just it was my hologram dad, he's finally making up for my real dad who wasn't around. It's he wasn't around. I don't know what to tell you. He died. Right when you were born. So, you born, he died. So, but you were saying the plot problems and...
that could be separate, but yeah, it's they don't... All they focus on is, being dour and being... the weight of the world's on your shoulders and not telling a good story. It's it's those things. The story needs to come first. I think they just neglect that in order to get a certain mood.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, an overcorrection to what Marvel does, which is your Iron Man, which is jokey, Thor, which is jokey and brightly lit, the Avengers, which has one-liners out the wazoo, but they all work. It's a reaction to that.
Well, you brought up Marvel and you brought up the mood of this thing, right? This movie, Batman v Superman, Dawn of J, and the whole DC universe is under the purview of Zack Snyder. Are you a fan of Zack Snyder and what he brings to the table? Tonally,
you're gonna be shocked by this, but I am a fan of Zack Snyder.
Interesting.
Except for Sucker Punch. Don't like Sucker Punch.
I liked Sucker Punch when it first came out.
Sucker Punch is a good idea,
but I think that's what it is. It's
was really massively poorly handled.
That was a time before Mad Max had come out, where it's I just want to see steampunk anything.
Yep, exactly.
And it's now it's okay, my standards are higher.
Yep.
What else has he done? He's done 300, Sucker Punch, and what?
And Watchmen.
Oh, Watchmen.
Which I think, as a fan of the Watchmen graphic novel, I think he did about as good a version as you could possibly do of that story to adapt it into a film.
I think
he is a smart filmmaker.
Uh-huh.
I think, when Watchmen came out, he was the studio executives want to treat this like Fantastic Four, and I know it's like Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
It's that's exactly right. If you've read Watchmen, it's this is Taxi Driver with superheroes.
Right. That's true. I just take exception to that Hallelujah scene where they're fucking. It's
that's part of that is straight out of the book, though. When he ejaculates and the flamethrower goes boosh. That's in the book.
Now I'm cool with that. I'm just a musical choice.
Oh yeah. I mean, Leonard Cohen wasn't happy either. So
well, we all.
But
can't
yeah,
be happy.
I think he. He's created so many tropes that are used in modern movie making. Nobody did an in-camera slow-mo shot until 300 came around, where it's the the quick swipe and boosh, slow, and then speeds up again, and like that was all 300.
Well, he popularized it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think people take exception to that style as being like pointless, but I don't think it is. Like I think
it totally works for 300.
Right.
Like the tone of that, like Frank Miller's book, like it totally works in what he's trying to do with that. You know, and he's a technically accomplished filmmaker, and his movies usually are shot really nicely, which is something that shocked me about Man of Steel, which I did not think looked good. So, but I think he is smart. He knows how to put a movie together. Is he going to be the right guy for this? If Man of Steel's an indicator, we don't know. So, but
I think if Man of Steel's an indicator, then no.
Yeah, no.
And I think if this is good, then we don't know.
Yep.
Because then it's one up and one down.
Yep. Yeah, we got to figure out which one is. It's like when your football team, you have a 3-9 season, and then you have like a 10-2 season. Well, year 3, we got to figure out which one's the outlier. You know?
Right. I mean, he's a divisive director, internet-wise. You know, a lot of people like to talk shit. A lot of people are into his aesthetic. Feige is like he's in charge of Marvel, right? And he has a vision for it. And Fox has their own guy who is in charge of the X-Men universe. I don't remember his name, but there's
Is it Alan Horn?
No, he's the CEO of Disney.
Okay, just kill me then. I know nothing.
No, it's all good. He's a guy who's like a writer and a producer, but I just
Simon
don't know.
Kinberg? Is that who's in charge of it?
It might be.
Okay.
Maybe. I just don't know about Zack Snyder. I just don't know about him.
Is that too much work for him to like juggle all this and be directing and be casting? And...
I just don't think that he is a character guy. You know what I mean? I think with 300, it's not really a character piece. It's more of a fairy. It's a story, right?
Yeah.
I think the failure.
300 is a myth where the heroes don't really have flaws,
right?
Basically,
it's a very specific kind of a thing. I think Watchmen was already kind of constructed, and you just have to adapt it.
That's all built into
and I think
the story.
Sucker Punch, him and his wife wrote, and I think it's a total failure when it comes to character stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird.
You don't care about anything they do. So,
So-
when that camera starts rotating, it's another fantasy scene. You're like, all right, here we go again. We get some elongated fantasy set.
Right. So I don't know. As a filmmaker, I would like to see him really hone his craft. You know what I mean? And like work on really focusing on characters. Because listen, to take nothing away from him, the action wise, he is great. And to say that he isn't is to be naive, right? That's just being pedantic.
That's
like
just you trolling and piling on your additional prejudice you already have.
right.
On him.
He's great at that. He just is. You know what I mean? Even if you don't like it, he's good at it. So I want him to actually become like a smaller director. Like maybe I want to see him do like a heist movie or something. You know what I mean?
That'd be cool.
Like bring it back to reality.
The smallest movie he did was that Dawn of the Dead remake, and that has thousands of zombies in it. You
Right.
know? Yeah, let's see him do, the Dog Day Afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Not a Dog Day Afternoon remake.
But a
Or
movie
put
in that
idea.
vein. In a movie in that vein.
Exactly.
We're on the same page
A
here.
small character piece.
So, we're kicking off the DC expanding universe. Coming up, we're going to have Suicide Squad, which I do think looks great. And I'm very excited for. I know that you have some reservations.
David Ayer can suck my balls.
Well, fair enough. But, if this movie doesn't do good, I think it puts the universe into flux. But let's put the negativity aside for a minute. Who character-wise do you want to see in the DC universe, if anyone?
Martian Manhunter is kind of an interesting character. Like to see somebody try to pull him off.
Uh-huh.
They could kind of do their version of Guardians of the Galaxy with him. And yeah, it's if Ben Affleck's good, give him his own Batman movie. You know, let's see what he does with it.
Yeah, I mean,
that to me, that character is too big to be like Christopher Nolan's thing is the definitive one, and we can never do it again. It's
right.
like there's too many iconic characters to just limit one thing at a time.
I would like to see Robin and Batgirl done to their effective nature.
That'd be nice
because those are good characters. Like it's fun. You know what I mean? It's fun that this loner guy has these other people he works with. You could do something with that. Nightwing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
yeah, Nightwing, like, how have they not done that yet?
well, because cinematically they butchered Robin and Batgirl, so throwing Nightwing on that problem is not going to help anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Also, I have no place to put this. I just want to insert it here. How did you react to when Ben Affleck was cast as Batman?
He's coming off of Argo, which is by all means a decent film.
Of course.
And he was good in it.
Solid thriller.
Best picture that year?
No.
Absolutely not.
Right.
But it's a TNT movie. I think the Ben Affleck hate has kind of died off, and I feel it was a little unearned just because of the Gigli total overreaction thing.
Right.
He's good in
Hollywoodland?
he was good in that film, actually.
Right.
So I was gonna say Good Will Hunting, but he's not in that movie. Oh no,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he wrote that movie. He's in it with Matt Damon.
That's right. He's good in Good Will Hunting.
Right. But then he had a lot of bad movies, Reindeer Games,
he
and
had a lot of he had
Phantoms.
Had his Reindeer Games, had his Geelys, but overall he is. Oh, and Gone Girl, he's fantastic in.
Yeah.
Because he's perfectly cast as like that, the pretty boy who has something to hide, or looks like he has something to hide, even if he doesn't. I think that's why people don't like him, and he just doesn't have enough self-awareness to just connect on that basic level. But that doesn't mean he's bad per se.
I feel like the hashtag Batfleck is just a reaction to the Renaissance that we're all clearly in.
Yeah, clearly we're in the Renaissance.
Because he is in an upswing of his career. And again, it's like, listen, he did that heist movie,
The Town.
The Town,
which I never saw.
which is very good.
All right,
solid thriller, and he is being successful. The movies he makes, people like them, critics like them, moviegoers like them. They make money. You know what I mean? They're winning awards. So it's like there's this weird hatred for him for stuff from 5-6 years ago. That's like, yeah, man,
that's just tabloid shit.
It's like it is tabloid shit.
And we shouldn't. Nobody should care about that.
Also, we have some mutual friends who, to my just fucking boiling my blood, they're like, he can't be Batman. He's too small. Batman's like a big guy, and it's like, yeah, because when we look at all the guys who have fucking played Batman, they're all just fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger types, right? You got
Adam West,
Arnold Schwarzenegger type. You got
George Clooney,
fucking muscle bound as he is. You got
Michael Keaton.
Fucking
just
ripped. Michael Keaton, synonymous with huge.
Did you see Spotlight? Oh, he's jacked in Spotlight.
Val Kilmer, just a tower of a man. So people, this tabloid sensationalism that I feel got just out of control, right? Yeah. Will he make a good Batman? We'll find out. But
in this story, he might be the best Batman.
Right.
We don't really know what story they're going to tell. It's the same thing when Jesse Eisenberg was cast as Lex Luthor. I remember people were like, but he's not bald. I was like, who cares?
Well, there's a remedy for that, and it's called scissors.
Shave his head.
Yeah.
It's like, it does, he might be able to play the Lex Luthor they're going to tell.
Get Big Rames. Is he available?
What was Bruce Willis doing?
Yeah.
You don't know which story they're going to do yet. We don't know what story they're going to do yet. So Ben Affleck might be everybody's favorite Batman in a week here.
The last thing I want to touch, the last couple things we want to touch on before we get out of here and go see this movie. What do you think about the DC TV and film universe being separated? Marvel's is joined, and I think Marvel failed at it, and it shows.
I am not watching Agent Carter or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I watched 2 seasons of S.H.I.E.L.D. and 1 season of Agent Carter, and I got the fuck out of there. Because it's like, they're not tied to the movies. You know what I mean? They can't keep up the pace with the movies, and nothing really happens on the shows, and they're just kind of flat, right? I do think that you could do it. You could have it be involved, and you just have to be a different kind of a show. You know what I mean? Like, they made a show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then in the next movie, spoiler alert, S.H.I.E.L.D. got disbanded. Yep. So it's like, whoops.
Yep.
I think you can do it. I don't think Marvel has been successful at doing it. You know what I mean? And there are people who disagree. There's people who like those shows, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they get their viewers, but...
Right.
Yeah, for me, it's just like, it reminds me of The Matrix back in the day. Right before Reloaded came out, they were like, okay, we're going to have this video game that fills in everything in that.
Animatrix.
And we're going to do this anime thing that fills in all this shit. And then after this, we might even do a TV show. We might do this, and this, and all this stuff. And then, Reloaded was okay, Revolution sucked, and nobody cared anymore.
Right.
You know, and it's like you're just building this house of cards that it's gonna take so much investment, and sometimes you just want to see a superhero movie.
Right.
You know? It's there's some critic on, I think it was AV Club, who said the next circle of hell is watching movies so that you can watch other movies. So like Hunger Games Part 1 and Part 2, it's like that's like the new hell we're creating for ourselves. So, I just don't want to like, well, in order to see this thing, you absolutely have to see this thing, because it's gonna do everything. Like all the boring shit happens in this one, and all the cool shit happens in this, but it's not cool shit unless that happens. It's like you can do it all in one thing.
There definitely once you switch mediums, there definitely becomes a hierarchy, right? So like, for every movie series that comes out, there's always like a comic book that's like more information, right? So for Mad Max Fury Road, there's a comic book that explains all the different parts of the war rig, right? And if you're a crazy nerd, that appeals to you, but you don't need that knowledge to enjoy it, right?
Yeah, and I feel like in these you need that knowledge, though.
I think you could make a show that functions as supplementary material to the movies, right? It's like the hierarchy would be the movies are up top, and for the hardcores, you get a weekly dose of supplementary material each week on television. I think that's possible. I do think that the DC universe wisely separated their two things, right? So you have the DC cinematic universe and you have the television universe, and they're different. But people are upset because, they like the Green Arrow, and they like the guy who plays the Flash, and they're not going to be in the movies.
Yeah.
And there is a disconnect there. That being said, what's interesting is the TV show is all about multiple universes. So there's like, Earth 1 and Earth 2 and Earth 3. So presumably the movie universe could be Earth 5 and Earth 6 or whatever, you know? So like every DC live action incarnation could be a different universe. And which my fantasy booking here would be eventually you have a Justice League versus Justice League movie.
Oh boy.
Where Earth 1 Justice League fights Earth 6 Justice League.
Ben Affleck versus Christian Bale.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Versus Michael Keaton.
Yeah. They're all just like, I'm Batman.
Where are the dogs at?
Yeah. So what's your expectation going into this movie? We'll wrap this up. What do you want? What do you want from this movie coming into it?
I want DC to win me back. I want Zack Snyder to convince me he knows what he's doing again.
I want them to convince me they know what they're doing, and I want them to show me some intelligence. Show me some smart thinking here, like some cleverness, some enjoyability, some building the world in a way that feels intelligent to me.
And yeah, you've spent all this money, you've hyped it up so much. Give me something I haven't seen yet. We've seen a lot of different superhero movies, and a lot of different
we've seen a lot in this trailer. And so everything that we see in that trailer, I want to be in the trailers to be the first half of the movie.
Yeah, but there better be some surprises in store.
Right. Because we already saw Doomsday, and he looked like shit.
Doomsday looks like a troll somebody left in the rain.
Yeah.
And it's you better shock us with something else. Still don't know how Lex Luthor goes bald, but he goes bald eventually.
We'll find out how it happens. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like I was feeling better about this movie until we recorded this episode. And now I'm like, I don't know. But you know what? Let's go. Let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a whirl, and we'll see how it goes.
Here we go.
We're back. And we're back.
We're back.
Kev, what did we just do just now?
We just spent 2 hours and 33 minutes in the world of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice at the Hollywood ArcLight, 8 p.m. showing, Auditorium 10.
March 24th. So we saw it the day before it comes out.
That's big city living, folks.
Yeah.
You get little perks like that.
Indeed. So, Kev, a lot of negativity coming into this. The buzz is very big. The buzz on the street is that the fans liked it. The critics really tore it apart.
Opened at like a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes when the first reviews are rolling in. Up to about a 37% right now.
Right. Again, I don't believe in Santa Claus, and I don't believe in Rotten Tomatoes. But
it's a flawed system.
It's a flawed system.
It can measure something in a general way.
Right, which we are talking about now. So I'm eating those words. They're delicious. Buzz, big, deep vein of negativity. People wanted to hate this. People I was talking to them at work were like, "You gonna go see it, man? I hear it's terrible. What'd you think?"
So, this movie cost what?
250 mils.
$250 million. Not a dollar of that was spent on a lick of imagination.
Ooh.
In this movie.
Interesting.
That's what really struck me about this film.
Elaborate. Are you saying that it's just relying on what the comic book presents, or what are you saying?
I think it's just relying on. I felt like I've seen everything before in this thing. It's the conflicts don't feel very interesting. And I feel they were explored way better in Christopher Nolan's Batman films, like the story of what's the difference between a vigilante and someone who can actually protect us, that kind of thing. None of the set pieces really stood out in any interesting way. Nobody's performance was very intriguing or interesting. The big bad guy at the end, who ends up being Doomsday.
Spoilers.
Spoiler, well, unless you saw that second trailer. He just kind of looks like the troll in Lord of the Rings. It's like, we've seen this design.
Well, I want to get deeper into all of these things in a minute, but it literally looks like the troll in Lord of the Rings. Like, not it's similar. It literally looks like the albino. They took the albino. You're talking about the albino one, right?
Yes.
They just colored it differently.
Yep.
But it's the same character model.
Well, not the albino one. The big green one in the first movie, Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like a Lord of the Rings troll.
It looks like a troll, and that's what I found just really shocking in this. Like, Zack Snyder can usually deliver a lot of wow moments, even if the story doesn't quite work. You'll get moments like 300. There's the "This is Sparta" moment, which, as over the top as it is, that's an iconic moment. It just really sells you on the whole thing. In Watchmen, you get, a lot of really interesting shots, a lot of great scenes, a lot of great acting moments, especially from Jackie Earle Haley, Rorschach. This movie just really lacks that, and everything feels very rudimentary, and it slogs along, and there's just no inspiration behind this, and that's what I find the most disturbing about this film.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say most movies have a good first act, and the problem really comes up in the third act, right? They don't know how to finish.
I would say the middle, keeping somebody's attention the whole time.
What's the middle?
I'm saying that's usually the part that's an issue.
The middle, really?
In movies, in general.
I'd say
I think that's where it can get really flabby.
I'd say the people.
If you suck the third act, then the third act ruins the whole thing. But usually you can at least get the climax, and the climax is something. But building the emotional interest to the climax, I think that part's tough.
I would say that most movies, when they fall apart after the climax of the movie, and they just kind of start rushing.
Sure.
But we're not here. But that's not my point. My point is, I think this movie has first act problems up the yin yang.
Big time.
Where
first off, the first act is like 2 hours long,
and they're really trying to massage in all of the mistakes from the first one. They're trying to like make sense of them all. But I do think that by the time we get to the end of this movie, the third act, I do think that it becomes the movie that it's supposed to be, and I really ended up enjoying it all said and done.
Okay.
So
interesting.
I just think that when the movie started, we see the end fight from the first one from the perspective of Bruce Wayne, which I think is actually a scene that works pretty well and does well. Although there are some weird things where Bruce Wayne he flies in a helicopter and then he gets into a Jeep Renegade. Yep. A Jeep Renegade?
Come on, this guy's literally worth billions.
He's driving a black Jeep Renegade. The cheapest car Jeep makes is like $17,000 new. And it's a total piece of shit. And then that goes on for too long. But then there's a scene where he gets out of the car, and that's actually very powerful. Also,
him running towards the building as it collapses?
Yeah. I thought that was good. I thought that was well done.
What was he gonna do, though?
Well, it's that American idealism of, the hero is the guy who runs at the burn. You know what I mean? What is anyone gonna do?
But what the fuck was he gonna do?
Well, he ended up saving Wally and the little girl. So eat your words, Kev.
but what happens to Wally in the middle of this movie?
Well, also I think it's very poor timing to call a character Wally when you're teasing the Justice League and there's Wally West who's the Flash. So I was like, oh shit, is this the Flash? He just broke the Flash's legs? but then it turns out not to be the Flash. And I
Yeah.
was thinking he might have been the Flash up until when he exploded.
Yeah.
So
That could have been cool, though. That's what borns the Flash, is the fact that he loses legs, and maybe it's like some bionic legs. Something like that.
well, they're not. Yeah, but they're not going down that road.
I mean, a little imagination
Sure,
is
sure.
all I'm asking for.
Sure. Let's. I want to keep talking about this imagination thing, and let's come back to it. But I really need to talk about Jesse
It's
Eisenberg.
going to be my through line through this.
Okay, good. We'll come back. So we'll weave back into this. Let's talk Jesse Eisenberg. Okay, listen. What he does in this movie is not without talent, right? Like you and I, the acting that he's doing, the mannerisms that he's doing, the weird things that he's doing with his mouth and his tongue takes skill to do, right? No, you can't say that that's a talentless move because it's not. However, I'm not sure that it fits in this movie, and I'm not sure that they know what to do with the performance.
They have no clue what to do with what he's doing.
Right.
And he's just so busy. It's a very busy performance. It's everything has a little tick and an inflection, and it's like it doesn't feel like, I get that it takes skill to like really do that, but he never feels like an actual character. It feels like an acting exercise.
Okay, and I agree with you, and I think that is exacerbated. Maybe it's the source of it. Maybe it's just exaggerated by it. We'll never know because we'll never see another version of this. By the fact that he's always making these winking jokes. So he's always making like, oh, Bruce Wayne, meet this guy. I love bringing people together. It's like, you know, in this billionaire's world, why does he give a shit what a like C-level reporter and another billionaire, why does he give a shit that they're meeting?
And why does Lex Luthor even know who Clark Kent is? Like,
Right.
Is he just buddy with everybody at the Daily Planet?
Well, and I think
I doubt it.
And I think when you revisit this, because he knows Clark Kent is Superman and he's watching all of these people, so I think he knows he's Superman at this point.
Yeah.
So and this is another thing that we need to get to, is that when you get to the end of the movie, there's a weird moment where Bruce Wayne emails
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman and is like, I found that picture that you wanted, that's of you, and then there's files that are for the superheroes. You got the Flash, you got Aquaman, you got Cyborg, and you got and then the last one was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So it's a weird moment because Batman doesn't seem to have any opinion. This is where the movie falls apart for me. Like, what, it's like a weak scene.
This is right before the big fight.
Right.
The marquee.
And I'd say the movie is building up well at this point, in my opinion. But then this is a weird low point. It's cool that we're seeing like a little snippet of all these different characters. We kind of get Cyborg's origin story, but we get like just a glimpse of how they're gonna do the Flash. But he hates Superman for being all powerful. But then he sees these other people who are like obviously very powerful, but he seems to not give a shit about it. Like not that he gives a shit. He has no opinion on it.
And never mind that this scene is just really shoehorned in to this movie. Like, it's just a 5-minute commercial for Justice League, just plopped right in the middle, right in between. Superman learns his mom is about to be
killed,
set on fire, to the big showdown between Batman and Superman. And it's just, this scene it's like a little turd, just plops right down.
I feel like if this was an HBO show, HBO miniseries, this movie would have worked better. Because I feel like there's lots of scenes that end with a fade to black.
So much cutting to black,
And then we cut to something else that is presumably happening a distance away. It does feel like you could chop this into episodes. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And I feel like that would be a really. Could you imagine if that was the end of an episode of a TV show, right? Where it's like Batman is like, I'm gonna kill Superman, but then Wonder Woman, you see Wonder Woman, she gets this email and she's like, oh shit, all these people. Cut to black, created by.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. And then next episode you go, but that's not what we saw. We didn't see a fucking miniseries. We saw the movie. So Jesse Eisenberg is just people were gonna give him a lot of shit for this, and I think our audience was kind of like, what are we watching?
Yeah.
Also, I should say we saw an audience that didn't get up for much. They weren't like rah.
It felt like you were watching Schindler's List with this audience.
Except
it felt like a mausoleum.
It was definitely a lot of people who are very into what they were watching, right? They're just watching it. But then when Wonder Woman shows up, they did clap, which was cool.
Yeah, but that's the one moment you clap.
Yeah.
It's like comparing it to when we saw Force Awakens, it's like that audience is in it. They are cheering. They're just hanging on every word and every plot point. And this felt like going to church. It's just very.
I don't know if it was that negative.
It just felt very soft. Okay,
because church is people don't want.
Church is terrible. Let's just throw that out
Let's just listen. This is our Easter episode. I'm just gonna be honest with everyone. When you're at church, people don't want to be there. It's just a fucking fact.
Hate to tell you, folks.
Yeah, but yeah. So,
but yeah, it felt like a funeral in that.
Speaking of funerals, how do you think Ben Affleck did as Batman?
As a Batman, he could be interesting, but in this movie, like a lot of things in it, he doesn't get any room to just be the character and breathe a little bit. I feel every scene is just always pushing towards something else and not giving anybody any time. I feel like I don't even know who his Bruce Wayne is or who his Batman is, and really, him in the Batman suit, he's really not in the movie that much. We see him a little glimpse in the beginning. When he
in the suit,
in the Batman suit, when he burns the sex slave dude, and then it's
which is a great scene, by the way.
It was okay.
Also, wait, you said you didn't like the action? What about the scene where he fights like 20 dudes at the same time?
I'm not done yet.
All right.
When did I say I didn't like the action?
You said that it was the action was uninspired.
I mean, it's uninspired. We'll get to that in a minute.
No need for anyone to rewind this. Just take my word for it.
So. Again, like, this movie feels rushed, which is odd to say for a 2.5-hour movie. Every scene just feels kind of truncated, and you don't ever get a chance to just take a breath and figure out what you're trying to do and what you're trying to say. Like, the rhythm of this thing is very clunky. And I think with Ben Affleck's character, I never got a sense of, like, who his Bruce Wayne was and what he was really trying to do. You know what I mean?
I think I disagree, because I feel like they do drop a lot of hints. Like they make it seem like he's pretty much done being Batman. You know what I mean? And he did his thing, and it's interesting because in the trailer it made it seem like Alfred was like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in this, it was like Alfred was totally down for the cause. He was taking the control of the Bat plane. And so, I mean, his Batman is definitely a much more vengeful Batman. Okay, and this is something I want to bring up. He has no qualms killing people because a lot of people
left and right.
Right, a lot of people, and he uses guns a lot, which I know that a lot of internet nerds are going to be mad at. But if you look back on the fucking Tim Burton ones, he used a lot of guns in those ones.
Yep.
So I'm okay with him killing people, and I'm less okay with him having guns on his vehicles. But it's kind of one of those things where it is part of the character, and Batman has had weapons on his vehicles, going back to our childhood. You know what I mean? I remember the Batman video games all had that. The Batman cartoons all had that. I remember I had a Batman toy car that shot missiles. It's just, it's part of the character. But in his quest to not use guns, I just feel like that's a weird one.
But the quest to not kill anybody is just completely thrown in the face.
It's much more of a Frank Miller mindset, right? Because that Frank Miller Batman was just like, I'll just, I'll fuck people up. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
I'm curious how the fans are going to respond to this, though, because that is such a core of who Bruce Wayne is. His life was born out of violence, and he was going to punish those necessary.
But he says that. He says that to Alfred, we're all criminals. Like, me and you both. It's like he's referring to, he thinks that this is when they're looking for the white Portuguese.
Yeah. In this movie, he says that.
Yeah, in this movie. So this movie's Batman.
I mean, it's an odd to go against all that history and just have this murdering Batman all of a sudden. I mean, his whole philosophy is based around not non-violence. Obviously, he kicks the shit out of people, but this idea that the world could be a better place and there is good in people. And if I were to kill people, I'd be as bad as the guy that killed my parents.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean that is a very modern interpretation because like that's like the Batman from our childhood, cartoon wise, right? But there's a cartoon, so they couldn't kill people if they wanted to. And then in the movies, same thing, except for in the Tim Burton movies, he does end up killing a lot of people. He does. He pulls a pin on that guy's grenade, and the guy explodes.
That's because Tim Burton didn't give a shit.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. In Tim Burton, some would argue didn't understand the character, but I think anyone's take on it is valid as long as it works. You know what I mean? And also, if you go back to like the 30s, Batman uses a gun and shoots people, so it's like it's a character that's very amorphous. I would say, and I'm okay. But I am okay. Listen, we've had this is our third Batman franchise in 20 years.
Yep.
I'm okay with this Batman killing people, if for no other reason, diversity.
True.
You know what I mean? Like we've had 60s Batman, we've had Tim Burton Batman, we've had Chris Nolan Batman, and if we're gonna do Ben Affleck Batman and he kills people, I'm willing to explore that because we've already done it.
We definitely need his own movie to look into that because there's not enough time in this thing. Because we got Superman in this movie too.
Yeah.
So there's just not enough time for him to, I feel, to really make a mark on the character. So I have a hard time evaluating Ben Affleck's performance in this.
I was satisfied with it, I would say. I look forward to seeing more Batman with Ben Affleck.
I would be interested in seeing a standalone, it's called a Batfleck movie.
They reportedly are making 3. Let's not go fucking crazy, people.
Let's wait and see there, Warner Bros.
Yeah. You know, let's get this Suicide Squad thing out. Let's keep it going. But what do you think about Gal Gadot as a Wonder Woman?
Again, just not a whole lot of time to even establish who she is. It's like we get a few rudimentary scenes of her and Bruce Wayne, then a whole 5-minute turd scene of her looking at videos, and then she's Wonder Woman all of a sudden. You know?
I agree with you. I do think that they're trying to make it a mystery, like all the metahumans are a mystery. They dropped the term metahuman, which if you watch the DC shows is a term that is said as much as fuck in a Quentin Tarantino movie. In this, they say it like a couple of times, but I do think that you don't really get too much of a sense of her other than she loves combat because she is loving it when she's fighting Doomsday and taking Doomsday. But in terms of the execution of the character, this is really the first time we've ever seen it live action since Linda Carter in the 70s. Which I am not a fan of that incarnation of it.
No.
So I personally really liked her. I was not bothered by the outfit, you know, because people like they turned down the colors. I kind of liked that actually.
It looked alright, and it looked like armor.
It
looked like practical armor.
It looked like armor. She had like the greaves, which are cool. I mean, obviously her thighs are exposed, but I thought aesthetically it looked cool, especially next to Batman in the end of the movie when Superman is dead. You know, it's like Batman's all covered up. She's less covered up, but, you know, she's kind of... And then they really do sell you on her being super powered. Yeah. And I feel like where Zack Snyder excels is in the action scenes, right? And I think showing her... And like all of a sudden she has a lasso around Doomsday and it glows. And just the feel of her powers, I feel like, worked well. In the context of Wonder Woman.
Sure. She is an intriguing character and was... an absolutely needed breath of fresh air at the end of that movie.
Yes.
Completely claustrophobic with not much going on. Mm-hmm. Despite we're 2 hours into this thing and she finally shows up, you know, in Wonder Woman form.
I want to get into Doomsday, but before we get into Doomsday, let's talk about what the titular event in this movie. Batman vs. Superman, BVS,
DOJ. So they've been hyping Batman fighting Superman for a long time now. Mm-hmm. Feels like 2 years.
So Batman steals the kryptonite from Lex Luthor. He makes some weapons out of it. He makes it into a gas. He makes it into a spear, and then they fight at an abandoned docks. Also, very very conscious effort to explain that there's a creature in downtown Metropolis, but thankfully, downtown Metropolis is abandoned at night, so there should not be too many people here.
It's 5:00. Everybody went home.
Yeah, so they really are aware of the problems they had in the last movie, and they're trying not to repeat them.
And then, but I think almost in a completely silly way, in an overcorrecting way.
I will say
there's the part they land on that island, and they're like, "Oh, it's an island outside of Metropolis. It's abandoned." It's like just own it at some point. You know, it feels like it's like in Big Top Pee-wee when he has 2 girlfriends. It's like, come on, this is just overcorrecting what people thought was a problem beforehand. It just feels cloying. Well, and yeah, just because it's 5:00 doesn't mean everybody's out of a fucking big city.
It also is the problem was not, and we talked about this in the first half, but I think it bears repeating. The problem is not that people are dying. The problem is that no one cares.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like...
And it's completely glossed over.
Right. So that building could be full of people. That's totally fine. As long as when it falls over, Superman is like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit! like, ah.
Yep. And I still get the feeling in this movie that they don't care that much. They just shoehorn those two lines in and hope that would fix it.
I think that the Batman vs Superman fight and the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman versus Doomsday fight show you that Zack Snyder is a absolute, and I think to deny this is to be naive. He's an absolute genius in terms of putting together a action sequence.
I'll agree with you, except in the Batman vs Superman fight.
Okay, we'll get to that in 1 second. But the problem that he has is he doesn't seem to have an understanding of like human emotion at every time. You know what I mean? I think there are scenes that do well. I think the scene where Martha Kent is saying, help this world or don't, like, I don't, it's up to you, you don't owe anyone anything, is a very human, motherly thing, right? Like when not to bring up 9/11, but when 9/11 happened, I was talking to my mom, like, so what if they reinstate, people talking about a draft and stuff, and I'm like, what if they reinstate a draft? And she's like, then I will drive you to Canada. Because my mom's like, you don't owe this world a goddamn thing. You owe me, motherfucker.
Yep.
You owe me. And so I'm like, oh, okay. She didn't say motherfucker, but it was a
She meant it.
She did mean it. So I do think that is a very real human moment, right?
Exactly. And he's done them before.
He's done them before, but then I think when he gets bogged down in the action, sometimes I think people have to remind him, like, also remember that people are doing this. And he's like, huh? What?
Well, it's like a kid bashing his action figures together.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. You're playing with toys.
Right, but we came here for pure cinema.
Exactly.
Human emotions. Okay, so what was your problem with the Batman vs Superman fight, which I liked?
So it's like 5 minutes long.
It is 5 minutes long.
So we've been
five, but like 5 solid. Not like it felt like 5 minutes. It's like, it's like 4 minutes and 59 seconds of just fighting.
But again, nothing imaginative happens in this fight at all.
Like when he hits him with the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink.
It's okay. So Batman has all this high tech armor. He's got Superman in his paws, basically. Better throw this here sink on his head. Boosh! It's like, come on. Like it's just a string of bad character decisions.
I will
through this whole fucking thing.
I will concede. Sorry, really quick. I will concede though when because they're throwing each other into buildings and through walls and stuff. And then I remember they're in a bathroom and then he throws them through all the stall walls and I'm like, that's like we've seen people fly through like fucking high rises.
Exactly.
We've seen people start at the top of a high rise and end up in the lobby like. Getting thrown through a fucking porcelain, bathroom urinal separator is like, that's not high cinema here.
No, it isn't.
Okay, you're saying.
So, again, the fight is just usually Batman will punch him, Superman flies far away.
Mm-hmm.
Superman punches Batman, he flies far away. Batman stomps on Superman, they fall through a ceiling. Superman punches Batman, he flies through a wall. It's just... Nobody grabs like a 2x4 and throws it, or a fucking steel beam smash, or just nothing interesting happens in this fight. And that's my big issue with it.
I will also say
nothing of any creativity or thought or careful consideration happens at all. It's not like, and again, I like a bare bones fight. The fight in They Live, one of the best fights of all time. But that move, even that fight has like creative moments where he's punching a car and he hurts himself, and it's.
Here's where I'll disagree. In the beginning of the fight, there's very interesting things where Batman they're going to nose to nose and Batman's like talking shit and then Superman like pushes him and he flies away. Right, that's the first time they do that. But then when he hits him with the gas and then Superman's all fucked up and he throws the punch and Batman's able to block it and Superman's like. The look on his face is like, oh, shit. So then he throws another punch really quick and Batman blocks that one and they start fighting. And it is actually like, now they're evened out. I think the beginning of that fight, up until when Batman gives him the sweet double stomp, fucking Bloody Sunday, straight through the thing, that's all good. I will concede that, now that you're mentioning it, after that it gets a little bit of like...
It totally peters out.
Yeah, people get just... Now it's just like... The spots are just throwing people through walls. Yeah. And there's a lot of that. But I will, when Batman tosses him down like, the flight, off the flight of steps and he, he falls into like the, like 10 or 15 stories down or whatever. And then he jumps down and he just starts dragging him. I'm like, damn, Batman's such a fucking, that dude is just bitter. He's just like, I'm just going to drag you.
He's mad. But again, this fight, it doesn't have a lot of rhythm to it.
It doesn't have a lot of rhythm.
It doesn't.
But here's the important.
I think the best fights, they subtly raise the stakes as it goes on. So it'll start as a brawl, but then let's say hypothetically, everybody's got big old rebars of steel, and now we can fight with that. Now, that doesn't work. Then maybe we fall into like a fucking, I don't know, a car factory, something. And now we gotta fight machines and fight around each other.
Yeah,
it's just so flat.
It is also, yeah.
Especially for all the hype they threw on it. So.
Yeah. But here's the important thing, Kevin. I think you're missing the important thing. Batman wins.
Batman does win.
He gives him mercy, but it's not like he like wins on a fucking schoolboy roll up, legs on the rope pro wrestling style. Yeah. He fucking wins. There's no oh, Superman, if Superman would have reversed it, it's like he had him dead to rights. Cuts him, it makes him bleed, and then, fucking Lois Lane throws in the towel, and that's how it's over. So...
No, you know how it ends? Is their moms have the same name.
Yeah. Which actually I never noticed. I never thought of that.
Oh, that just made me groan.
You
probably heard me groan at that.
I did hear you groan. I do think that I mean, listen.
Look, that's a moment. He could have had a really human moment there. But it just, to make it just because their moms have the same name, and that's like, is what brings up all his memories. Oh my God. And then it's like, then the fight just kind of is over. I will say it's weird how the fight ends and then they're friends all of a sudden. Yeah.
We always talk about how damaged Batman is and how he just can't get over his mom. In a Lego movie, there's that funny song he sings, Dead Parents.
No parents.
And everyone likes to make jokes about that, but that's what the character is, right? He's someone who is just unequivocally damaged by this thing that happened to him. So I do think that is
it's an interesting concept. They tackle it with the level of a sledgehammer to a nail. It just, they
do rush it. But the important part, Kevin, I'm going to stress this again. Batman wins. And it's because when we saw the trailer for this movie when it first came out, we're like, okay, they're just going to become friends and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. Batman wins. And then he says Martha, and then he gives up. But he did win the fight. Like, there's a winner to the fight. It's Batman versus Superman. Who won? Batman, W. Superman, L. Disqualification. He's out.
And guess what? If that was a pay-per-view fight, it'd be on par with Pacquiao Mayweather because it was slog.
Sorry, no, not disqualification. TKO.
Yeah, TKO.
But but Superman never beat up his wife in front of his children, so he has that against.
That's true.
Yeah. And Batman isn't a disgusting homophobe, so. I would still want to watch this fight over those fucking assholes.
I mean, those two are pieces of shit, but they're about as old and slow as Batman and Superman feel in this fight. Again, no imagination anywhere in this thing. It just feels dead.
Okay, so in the second trailer, we saw Bobo Doomsday, right? Now, I will say this. When Doomsday first comes out of the weird goon sack, and I do actually like...
Goon sack.
I do actually like how the advanced AI of the ship interacts with Lex Luthor, and he's able to tell it what to do, because it's an AI. It doesn't give a shit, you know what I mean? And I like that, right? So that's how he learns about a bunch of stuff, and then at the end, there's a teaser for Darkseid. I don't know. Are you familiar with Darkseid?
Not really.
He's like the Thanos of the DC universe.
I figured. Yeah. I mean, I've heard the name. I just, do I know what his powers are, who he is, where he lives? No.
Yeah. So I like how that's how he learned about Darkseid, because they have this cultural knowledge. I like that. And I like how, because in the first one, they set up the idea that, all babies born on Krypton were born in, the weird goo. Yeah. Because they don't do natural birth anymore. So I like how he's, presumably you could take that technology and apply it to rekindling someone's life. Yeah. And then that's how they make the Doomsday thing. And when the Doomsday thing came out of the goon sack, I did think to myself, oh, this looks a lot better. It looks totally like the Lord of the Rings orcs, but it looks a lot better than I thought it would. You know what I mean? Because in that trailer, it looked terrible. And you see the shot from the trailer in this movie, you're like, oh, this is the worst CG shot in this whole fucking movie, and they threw it in the trailer. Yep. That doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense, because there's way more cool shots of there's when the thing first came out and it's just screaming at everyone, right, angry that it's been birthed, and there's a great like rack focus with like he's like Lex Luthor rack to monster rack back, and it really makes it feel like they're in the same space. And I'm like, those shots look much better. And then also, not expositionally told, but like the more you hit it with energy, the more it absorbs the energy, and then it gets like all the craggy, weird, rocky stuff, which I thought was cool. Like when they hit it with the nuke, it basically just absorbs it. I did like that, and I did think that was cool. That in a movie where they really, really, really over-explain some stuff, like, oh look, Batman branded him. It's like, yeah, bro. I think that he had this scar that we just pointed out with the camera. You think in the shape of a bat? You think he had that?
Yeah. Why not just say, "Holy shit"? Show the shot.
Right.
Brand.
And then
and then you don't need the Batman branded him line. But anyways, getting back to Doom.
Well, but while we're nitpicking, when Batman saves Martha Kent, he's like, "I'm a friend of your son's." She's like, "Oh, I figured." Funny line. Because of the cape. Not needed.
Don't need it.
Because of the cape?
Yeah.
No.
You don't need it.
I don't need that.
You don't need it.
So I thought that I was very satisfied with actually the way Doomsday looked and that fight. Especially the ending of that fight where Superman is killed. And he's just dead. And not for 1 second, Kev. Not for 1 second before we walked into this movie. Coming into this, I'm like, there's no way Superman dies in this movie. That didn't even cross my mind. I didn't even consider it, right? Doomsday is the character in the comic books that killed Superman. Bought that issue, 1993.
Yep.
I don't know what happened to it. It was underneath my bed. I blame my mother. Threw it away. So, he dies. And he's fucking dead.
But we know he's not dead.
We know he's not. They're gonna ruin it.
That's why it's bullshit. That's why this fucking 15-minute funeral we sit through at the end of this movie after the climax is bullshit. Because this is just a 2.5-hour commercial for Justice League, which Superman is in. We know it's not true.
Have you seen Max Landis' video on Superman, the death of Superman?
No. Fuck Max Landis. Fuck that guy.
What, really quick, why do you hate him?
He's everything wrong with nerd culture.
Watch this video because he points out like when Superman defeats death, that means he's defeated death, right? So there's nothing left for him to defeat. So like if you kill him, you gotta leave him be dead. And that I think is an important lesson that no one will ever learn, is that if Superman dies, he should just stay dead. Now, I agree with you. There's zero chance that that's going to be what happens here.
They really have a promo poster for Justice League out already, and it's got Superman on it.
That
already.
That angers me.
That's why the ending of this movie is horse shit.
I do think that they're trying to do it.
It would have been fucking cool if they had not announced Justice League yet, and they killed Superman at the end of this. That would have been a bold...
No.
I thought they were going to kill Lois Lane.
Yeah, probably should have.
And I was like... That would have taken some stones, but they didn't do that.
Well, I think they should. I mean, if I'm the head of DC, no, fuck it. If I'm the head of DC, Superman's dead. He's not coming back. But they won't do it. I know they won't do it. But I'm just saying.
No, they're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it. But if they did, this movie would be fucking awesome.
That would have almost made me get back on the side of this movie if they had the stones to kill Superman.
And they almost had the stones because we went to this 15-minute funeral and they're playing the funeral like he's fucking gone.
Yes.
Right? And then they close up and they throw the dirt on the thing and you're like, shit, dude, dirt on the thing, it's over. And then they start zooming in and you're like, uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it.
And then it starts coming up.
And then that's the cut to black. No post-credit sequence either.
Yeah, that's what Marvel does. DC's not.
Well, they did it for the between you and me. They did it for Green Lantern. So what'd you think? I thought some of the best filmmaking was that last fight against Doomsday, where like Wonder Woman will jump and cut off his leg and stuff, and it'll grow back and she'll punch him.
See, I just don't feel it was that well shot either. I thought it was about as uninspired as the Batman Superman fight. It's just people get punched and they fly a long ways. And they fly back, punch, person flies a long ways.
Well, but then
just nothing interesting happens.
But there's a cool shot.
No imagination.
There's a cool shot where Lois Lane, she comes in and watches it, and you see the fight from a distance where like Doomsday, like grabs Superman and like throws him and then shoots him with the laser, and then he flies even farther away. And then Wonder Woman's like just stabbing him over and over again, but you see it from far away. I think that's a well composed effect. You know what I mean?
It's not interesting. It's well composed.
Ah,
you can make a well composed shot of a piece of turd. And
Also, you need to, your mind's in the gutter right now. You need to class it up, all right? It's a classy podcast. I don't need you taking it down like this.
Yeah, it's just everybody just gets punched and flies away. Gets punched, flies away. I thought the ending of Man of Steel, that fight with General Zod, I think that's actually a pretty creative fight.
See, I would
fucking go up to space in that fight.
They go up to space in this fight, too.
They do in this one, but you already went up to space in Man of Steel. So
I would say that...
not impressive anymore.
I would say that this... Nothing... I would, in my opinion, all the fights in this are better than the ones in Man of Steel, except for when it's the woman from Krypton and the big guy versus Superman in Smallville. That's a great fight. Because that chick is just like a cold-hearted bitch. Yeah. I love her. Also, I want to put a ring on that one.
He likes the scary Kryptonians.
Oh, dude.
Ladies.
Oh, man.
In Krypton.
Yeah. Call me up.
But,
I know the planet's blown up, girls, but call me.
But that's the cool thing. It's like, that fight was this bitch who's super strong, this super big dude, and it's in this small town setting. That's an interesting fight design. Just to have another big city fight, and other people just flying through buildings. Left and right.
I think what you're getting at is that they're definitely resting on the laurels of it's cool because it's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman teaming up.
It's nothing interesting happens with any of them, and that's my big beef.
Right. And just to go back to it, Superman not being dead is so dumb. Just let him be dead.
He's dead. Like I said, that would have put me on the side of this movie if they never announced Justice League. If just focus on this thing. I feel like their mind is 10 steps too far in the future. They want to do. They probably got Aquaman 2 scripts in the works right now before we know if anybody even likes Aquaman.
I did like the way Aquaman looked in this.
And, we get a brief glimpse.
We get a brief glimpse, but you definitely see his face and the upper half of his body, and it looks. That's an interesting look for the character where he's like a Samoan dude.
Yeah.
I think that's a much better. At least not better because we've never seen the Aquaman live action at all. But I think it was a good take on it.
It could be interesting. So color me semi interested.
We're running a little bit long, so let's just kind of breeze through these really quick.
All right.
Did Batman vs Superman live up to the hype?
No. I think that was in
too because it was too overstuffed.
I think too overstuffed and too rushed at the same time. Just never giving anything enough time, making a lot of strange plot and character decisions, and then again lack of creativity throughout the whole thing.
And I do think that is because I think my problem with it is what you just said. There's some strangeness going on, and I think all of that is because they're trying to course correct all of this from the first one and try to reshape the universe. It's a similar universe, but it is different, and they're trying to kind of do a barrel roll.
Yep.
And it's like,
but do we need to see Lois Lane go to Africa and bounce around a bunch of different people to try and solve a thing?
That was weird. That was a weird setup, and you really didn't need too much of it. You could have just had someone testifying that Superman did that. Exactly. Also, the scene of her in the bathtub is just so strange because they're teasing they're gonna show you her boobs, but they're not. But they're really the visual storytelling of the movie is hey, her boobs are coming up in 3, 2,
Superman blocked it.
It's
same with some Michael Shannon penis as well, artfully blocked.
Yeah, dude. There's one moment where I think. The way the dummy fell,
and
it's
so clearly a dummy.
Yeah.
That's what's terrible. Well, $250 million.
Oh, the face of the dummy looks really good, but the dick of the dummy is like a Ken doll down there. Just a rounded,
rounded, a smooth turtle shell.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, it's a bad look.
Do you have any nitpicks? Also, this is the part of the show where we talk about things that don't make or break anything. Just little things that we just didn't like.
So, Lawrence Fishburne, Jeremy Irons, and Amy Adams all kind of looked bored and lost through this whole thing. So I just feel they were all pretty wasted. There's not a lot of scenes with any of them. And listen, Lawrence Fishburne's not that pivotal to the plot. He's purely expository at this point. but they all just kind of look disinterested.
Although I will say that whatever that girl is, the girl who is like also works with them, and he keeps talking to her, and she's like, I don't know, don't, I don't,
Yeah.
like, where's Clark, Marsha, where's Clark, and she's like, I love that, I love that little interaction where she's like, fuck, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm not his supervisor.
Go away, Perry.
Yeah, Perry, fucking, dude, you got me right in this sports. I don't know,
Yeah.
Barry, I just don't know. I love that. Go ahead.
Just not a single chuckle in this whole thing.
They try.
Oh, they try. More than a few forced chuckles in the theater of some DC fanboys.
Batman with a sniper rifle. I know that apparently that was taken from a comic book. One of the seminal image from. It just looked weird. He has a sniper rifle, and it's just like,
especially because that's kind of our first full look of him in costume, and it's just odd.
I also think that we are familiar enough with the concept of a tracking bug that we don't need it to blink anymore.
Yep.
It's like I feel like they always show
And
a
also-
tracking blood blinking, but it's like we understand.
He puts the tracking bug on a truck and then tries to destroy that truck. What?
Yeah. Because they know that eventually the truck's gonna get away, so they had to recon it so that feels like it was.
But yes,
Yeah.
but Batman doesn't know that. But like just put the tracking thing on it. You don't need to chase the truck. You got the tracking thing. You know where it's going.
I will
Then
say,
he almost blows the whole fucking thing
I will
up.
say that if you wanted to cut 5 to 6 minutes out of this movie, you could have cut that whole chase scene.
That whole chase scene is
It's like
completely worthless.
They're like we built this fucking Batmobile. We're gonna show it off. And I guess at the end of that chase, they have the confrontation. But I feel like you didn't even need that confrontation.
Don't even need that.
Yeah. No Robin and no Joker. Very disappointed.
Yeah, I thought we'd get maybe a glimpse of Jared Leto as Joker,
Mm-hmm.
but I did like I'll save it for cool stuff.
I didn't like how Batman they hit him with a nuke. They hit Superman with a nuke. I think they actually kind of course corrected this when they killed him. But like, if he could take a nuke, dude, like that's too much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a Kryptonian spear. Okay, that's gonna get him. But yeah, a nuke, nothing.
Well, that's the thing is that, and I mean, there's lots. We didn't even talk about this, but there's lots of allusions to God in this movie, and
really,
well, I mean, people pray.
only every other scene.
I mean, but I do like. There's one of the good moments in this movie is when Lex Luthor is like, basically, implication that he had a bad childhood, and he's like, God is either all powerful and non-acting, or acting but not powerful. So it's like and so that's his view on like, spirituality and God. And I think that's an interesting take on Superman, right? It's like either he has to be all powerful and not acting, or acting and not all powerful, and more interesting is acting and not powerful, but then it kind of do both, where it's like he is way too overpowered.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And they give him a good overpowered villain that is basically his equivalent, which is Doomsday, and from what we see, Wonder Woman could be that too. But he's just like, I just think that's the biggest flaw of the character is that he's just way too overpowered.
Yeah.
Nothing, he can get hurt, but nothing actually threatens his life.
Yeah.
He gets shot with a gun. It hurts the way getting shot with a BB gun would to you and me, right? Where it's just like, fuck, I wouldn't want to deal with this.
He has like 4 Gatling guns on him, and he's like, ugh, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Another nitpick,
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luthor's super servers in his house behind a non-locked door. In fact, a door looks like it would open to a restaurant, just like a glass door.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Also, cold-blooded that he killed his assistant, sexy, tall Asian girl.
I was gonna say, yeah, they kind of like lingered on her a lot, and so you think she's gonna have a bigger role, and then she just gets offed.
And this borderlines on something more than a nitpick. Way too much news footage.
Oh, jeez.
And a lot of it you didn't need. I mean,
No, it's completely. It holds your hand the whole time.
It's kind of fun to see like Anderson Cooper and like other. I was waiting for Bill O'Reilly, and some of it is actually used well. And we'll get into that in a second. But just too much news footage. We'll just put it that way.
So one more nitpick: the most unbelievable thing in this movie, a Democrat from Kentucky. Give me a break.
She wrestled pigs. I don't know what to tell you, Kev.
And something about granny piss. I wasn't paying attention.
To balance out our nitpicks, we also follow this up with moments of awesome, which are moments that are, again, not make or break, but just little things that we liked.
You're gonna be shocked. I have a few.
Interesting. The news footage with, like, okay, so the movie, there's some artsy shots in this movie, mostly of Superman saving people, which I thought were well done. Like, when he pulls the girl out of the burning building, you don't see anything but him putting her down, which is all you need to see. Like, the details of him being like, "Como te llamas?" It's like, no, we don't need this shit, right? Just, he saves her. That's all we need to know. And everyone kind of fawns around him. You know what I mean? That's a cool, striking image. And then some of that is balanced with some news footage, which I just complained about. I know. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, I feel like what Neil deGrasse Tyson said was actually really interesting. Mm-hmm. Where he's like, first we find out that we're not at the center of the universe. Then we find out that there's evolution. And then we find out that now evolution doesn't even matter because there are stronger beings in us, and it makes us question our place in the universe and reassess it. I'm like, that is the story of Superman, right? Exactly. That's how people should be accepting him.
I bet they let NDT write his own.
Yeah, he's like, do you have any thoughts on Superman? He's like, hold on.
Listen.
And he pulls up his fucking docs, and he's like, here we go.
My boy NDT. Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman's theme is really cool. Mm-hmm. I liked it a lot. It's kind of like a overblown take on Immigrant Song, like Led Zeppelin track.
Yes.
So it's cool theme. Good work, Hans Zimmer or Junkie XL, whoever wrote that.
And I feel like Gal Gadot really commits to the role. Like, when she's fighting, it feels believable. You never feel like she's on a green screen just going like, you know what I mean? You feel like
she doesn't feel like Linda Carter.
Yeah, or she doesn't feel like fucking Ryan Reynolds in the Green Lantern. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, she feels like Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like when she's fighting Doomsday, you could you can see her like lust for battle, which I thought was cool. And the other little things that she did and said, I thought just all kind of worked out. Oh, and Batman's parents getting killed, which is most other than Uncle Ben getting killed in Spider-Man, the most cliched part of superhero-ness. I thought Zack Snyder's little touch on it was really good.
What, the pearls on the necklace?
So the dad gets shot first. So the dad, the guy pulls a gun. The dad steps in front of his kid, Bruce.
Yeah.
But then you see his fist ball up, and you hear like the leather because he gets mad. He's mad that he's getting mugged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he tries to swipe at the gun, and the guy shoots him. And then the mom goes into defense mode, and the attacker kind of freaks out a little bit because he's not ready for her. So he lifts up his gun, which gets caught in the pearls of her necklace, and as the gun goes off, the slide breaks the necklace, and she gets shot in the face point blank range. And Bruce is watching this, and the dude look on his face is like, this has gone way wrong, way quick, and then he just takes off running. You know what I mean? And I like how it starts as a crime of opportunity, but then quickly the guy gets overwhelmed. He's like overwhelmed by it. You know what I mean? It freaks out. I just thought the way it was all shot and stuff was just really evocative of an image that we've seen overly done too many times.
It is nice that they tried to do something different, but it also felt just like the tone of this whole thing, just very heavy-handed, very overblown. And did we actually need it? I do not think we ever need to see Bruce's parents get killed ever again.
We don't, but I do think that after the
Until
first one...
50 years from now, when, well, let's say 70 years, when we're all dead, the next generation needs their Batman myth.
The problem is that I think after the first one, and how it was not well received by a lot of people, I think they wanted to stick to the source material again, like really stick to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
only take liberties every now and again, like Doomsday's creation, but it's it still looks like Doomsday and acts like Doomsday and stuff. So it's like I think they wanted to, especially with Batman's origin, they wanted to like stick to it. But I get what you're saying, where it's just like
we've seen it. We don't need to see.
I just think the Zack Snyderiness of it, I think is good.
All right. I thought a little too operatic, Sturm und Drang.
Very operatic.
This whole thing is just like that.
All right, we need to get out of here because it is now past midnight, and some of us need to go to work tomorrow.
Yep. I.e. me.
Yeah, you.
You lucky bastard.
So my girlfriend's gonna wake me up, but then it's gonna be So in the end, do you like this movie and does it work?
I do not like this movie. It's too overblown. There's too many logical fallacies and strange character choices. And again, no imagination. I don't think it works. I don't know how they're going to build anything beyond this. It all feels just very haphazard.
I do like this movie. I think it works. It's definitely not a sleek experience is definitely like it's like
riding a camel.
I think it's like you're in like a 70s pickup truck where it's big and bulky and like has none of the features that you're used to. You know what I mean? And I think that if the series ended here, we'd be okay. You know what I mean?
Dude, if they kill Superman and that's it.
And I also think that if you ever rewatch this movie, I think you're gonna like it a little bit better, knowing some of the things that you know now.
Am I?
I think so, because I think in the end, it was revealed that Lex Luthor knew everyone's identity earlier. So I think that going back and looking at the earlier scenes with him, that might inform some of them in a way that to us doesn't make sense the first time through. When he's talking to them, he knows that he knows who they are, or at least Superman he does.
I got the sense of that.
Not in the first time, not the when he first talks to him in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't predict that.
I'm not saying did he have a file on everybody? No, but
he did have a file on everybody.
He did have a file. But, like, that's not what my thought. My thought was, like, he knows who these people are.
No.
He's got his fingers in all the pies.
Right, but I'm saying when he first sees Clark Kent, he's like, Clark Kent, like, how's it going? He's like, I know you're Superman.
How would he know some jabroni reporter? And that's why I always thought he knows he's Superman, basically. So.
I think you're taking advantage of me right now.
Shit.
Hopes for Justice League. I think so. You just said you don't know where this goes. I think that you just got to go straight to Darkseid for the Justice League movie. Is that next, or are you gonna do like a Flash?
I think Wonder Woman's next.
Okay,
'cause that's already being shot.
Interesting. Yeah, I think you got to go to Cosmic right away, and I think that's how they can actually get a leg up on Marvel is if they just straight up go with Darkseid and have him be omnipresent and like maybe make him the villain in a Batman movie or a Flash movie or whatever, and he doesn't lose. You know what I mean? Not that he wins, but he just doesn't lose.
Yeah.
You know?
You need to make him like as strong a force as anything.
Right.
Because Zod wasn't that good a villain overall. Got killed pretty quick. Doomsday's dead by the end of the movie. You need a strong... Because there's a moment in... after Superman's buried, Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman are talking, and he just says, like, they need to get together, they need to fight, they'll know why. And we as an audience don't have a sense of why do they need to get together and fight. In the Avengers, we do, because we know there's this.
But then we cut to the flashback of Batman.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
we get that.
Yeah,
in bed, but it's just a weird scene to put. It, you know, we don't know of any greater fear because Lex Luthor's in jail, Doomsday's dead. Like, we don't know who's next, and they don't know who's next. So it's a weird, like, why do they even need to meet each other kind of thing. So,
but he's saying that because he talked to Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor talked about cosmic villains. Okay, you know what I mean?
But they show that kind of out of order.
They do show that. They do show that out of order. But I think the implication is that happened between the Superman dying and the funeral.
Again, it's a strange choice.
All right. Well. That's it for our episode. Thank you for listening to our conversation. Batman vs. Superman. Divisive movie? I don't know. But I will say this. I'm still looking forward to Suicide Squad.
I'm not. Don't like David Ayer.
Apparently not.
Don't like him.
Apparently not.
Don't like him at all.
Join us again next week. We'll be back to Summer of 82. Same bad time, same bad channel. This episode written by Kev. Music by Jeff Russell. I am your host, Mr. Double J, along with Kevin.
As me.
Keep it super, you wonderful bats.